Hello everyone, welcome to day 5 of Read the Reading Rush. I am also, again, vlogging at work. I'm not a morning person, and then today was a really bad headache day. It's not gone away, it's a bad headache day. We have, I think, a thunderstorm going on outside, or at least rain's coming down. All of this to say, it's been a rough morning, but I have had a decent bit of reading done. I listened to A Study in Scarlet. I am currently reading that with Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures, so we only have 2 days left. Then we'll have the mystery solved. And then I am eating lunch right now. It is my lunch break, so beans and tortellini. I think I have tortellini here. My memory isn't great when I have my headache so bad. But basically, today I have listened to a little bit of the Jane Austen Society. I managed to get an audiobook of that. I bought one. I just knew I needed to read it, and I didn't have another way. So I got the audiobook. It's been pretty good so far. Not like I'm very far in, about an hour, but I've listened a bit. And then I am hoping that I can finish that today when I get home. I think it'll be good. Tomorrow we have a family birthday party going on, so that will be taking some time out of reading plans, but I think it'll be fun. It's important not to forget the family and the social life, so that's kind of a key thing. But all in all to say, welcome to my vlog. I hope that it is an enjoyable time, and I hope it's also not nearly as long as my other one, which covered the first 4 days. So I will see you tonight after work. Hello, it is after work. I've actually been home for about almost an hour and a half now. I've just been lying down and watching YouTube. I watch a lot of different things on YouTube, and I was watching a British game show because they're just so much fun. But I have officially, I think, crashed. Every Friday night I do this. I crash, or at least my last work day. So today's my last work day until through the weekend. So I'm gonna hopefully listen to some audiobooks because head's still not too bad. The weather is turning out nicely now, but it's not always perfect. So I'm gonna listen to my audiobook of the Jane Austen Society. I think I might try and read physically The Pharaoh's Daughter, and then that's the weekend's plans, basically. I have 3 books on this weekend's planned, aside from A Study in Scarlet, because that's just easy. I am determined to finish the Jane Austen Society, The Pharaoh's Daughter, start and finish The Pharaoh's Daughter, and finish The Haunting of Bonaventure Circus. Like, that is my goal. And I think I can do it if my head works with me. So basically, we'll see how much I do. I am ordering dinner because I just don't want to cook. And then we will see what I read most of, which honestly will probably be the Jane Austen Society. So I feel like I'm not being very authentic right now. I'm trying to put on a good show that, yes, I can read, but honestly, my head is pounding like a jackhammer, and I can't focus on anything, much less even an audiobook. I am struggling to do anything related to reading right now, and all I want to do is close my eyes and sleep. And that is something that's, I'm not forcing myself to read because of the reading rush. I am acknowledging that my body needs a break. But I'm trying also to just, like, I don't know, trying to get stuff done and not be completely unmotivated. I don't know. So the real reason I'm recording this is because I don't want it to look like day 5 is going well. It's not. And work was okay, but hard, just on a physical standpoint. And then to come home and think, now I have to read a whole book in order to be on track for the reading rush. It's just preposterous for me to even think that and try to plan that way. So yeah, I don't know how the weekend's gonna go, to be honest. I'm really hoping that it turns around and I can, knock this headache down a bit, but if not, then that's gonna be my weekend, and I really don't want that. And I know that by forcing myself to read physical books, I will actually be doing myself harm in regards to the weekend, and that's not something I want to do. So this might just be not necessarily a reading vlog, but a vlog this weekend. I'm gonna do my best, but I hope that the authenticity comes through, because this is when it just hurts and you can't control the pain. So I'm just gonna lay here, eyes closed, until my food arrives, and then maybe read if my head feels any better. But very, very low-key plans. I'm having grace for myself, and I hope that this weekend turns out well, but I'm also not wanting to injure my brain cells, even though that doesn't make sense. I don't want to prolong my pain because I'm forcing myself to read for the reading rush. So we'll see what happens. So dinner has arrived. I'm hoping it will recharge me a little. So the first thing I got is my own personal form of caffeine, because I don't drink coffee and I only drink tea on like really, really cold days. So I got Pepsi. This is my jolt of energy drink. I also really needed carbs and potatoes, so I got fries. Lovely, lovely fries, and hopefully what will taste delicious, I hope, pizza, pepperoni pizza. So I'm hoping this will, I don't know, dull my headache, give me some form of food solutions, and then maybe I can focus on life a bit. I'm not even caring about reading right now. I will care about reading in a little bit, but basically I just need to get back into a good headspace. So this will be hopefully the trick, and we'll see what happens. So welcome to day 6. I didn't really sleep in, but I just didn't get up really early, so it's like noon now. Now yesterday was rough, as I said, but I did manage to finish a book this morning, which I'm very excited about. I was able to put a timer on and do mini sprints all by myself for like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, just to get myself re-energized to read. And then I also listened to a quarter of the audiobook for the Jane Austen Society last night, so I think I'm like 80 pages, 70 pages in. It's good, but this one, the character named Jack, if you know the story, he's really slimy to me. And I don't know why he's slimy, aside from just trying to get in Mimi's pants. But I just don't like him. And I am hesitant to pick this back up. Like, this is actually where the character's like, I don't want to pick this book out. I don't want to read about Jack again. But I'm going to pick it back up. I'm just not fully invested yet, so that's a little unfortunate. I'm not really invested at all, which is sad. It's kind of a take or leave at the moment. Now, the book I did finish was The Haunting of the Bonaventure Circus by Jamie Jo Wright. This is a 5-star book. It's perfect. It was everything that I was struggling with reading was a me problem, where it would be my eyes, my head, my focus, not the book. This book is so gripping. So I did give a synopsis a little bit on, or a little introduction to the book in my first half of the week, but I'll do it again here. So in this one, we follow Pippa Ripley, who is the adopted daughter of a circus owner, and she is struggling with her identity and where she belongs and where she comes from, and the fact that she feels like she's pushed into this mold, and she doesn't really question that mold, or she doesn't really challenge the mold that she's expected to abide in. This is taking place around like 1930s, well, just before 1928, 29. And then you have a current day timeline about Chandler, who she has an autoimmune disease. She has Lyme's disease, and she's a single mom, and she works with restoring buildings and like flipping them or selling properties. And so one of the properties that she just purchased is haunted, or so the legend says. And this is where several women, or at least one woman, died. And they say that there are many ghosts there, and this used to be the office for the circus. So there's this whole mystery surrounding that. And then on top of that, she is struggling with her Lyme's disease and trying to keep it hidden and trying not to tell anyone about it. So it's a personal growth for her, personal journey for her. And Pippa, I find that Jamie Jo Wright is so good at making these amazing personal growth, these amazing character growths without abandoning plot. I love, love, love these books. I love her books. This, I think, is my favorite one yet of hers. I still have to read two. I don't know. I haven't had time to pick them up. They haven't fit into TBRs or whatever, but I want to make it a priority for the rest of the year, to be honest. So this is my favorite for several reasons. The first of which is I love seeing a character who struggles with physical ailments or chronic illness, whether it be a migraine like me or an autoimmune disease, and then she just keeps living life, or they just keep living life, and they keep working hard and doing life. They don't quit. And I feel like that's so often what's represented in books is the hard part without the actual struggling to live and struggling to keep going in the rough days. And so this one was so great to see Chandler just like going for it and still living life, still being a mom, still taking care of her, or trying to take care of herself, taking care of her family, trying to do her best job and not quitting. I found that's just so great. And then as I read the author's note, I did not realize that Jamie Jo Wright has Lyme's disease as well. So this is an own voices representation, which is even better. I love that. And I love that she was so brave to put that in her book. And I loved reading about it. I loved seeing her character grow. I loved watching her struggle and keep going with life and, embracing it and telling people about it. It was just great. So that was one thing I really loved about this book. Second thing, I loved the mystery. So there are two mysteries that go on, and they tie together, but there's a mystery from the past and a mystery from the present. And I was wrong on both mysteries. It tricked me hard. I was convinced in my soul that I knew who it was, both places. I was wrong entirely. And both times I was completely wrong. I had no idea. And I think looking back, I can kind of see it, but at the same time, those red herrings were so strong, and they were red herrings that weren't really red herrings to me. Like, they were the kind that aren't obvious. And so I was like, it's gotta be him. It's gotta be him. And I was wrong. I love that she can trick me. I love that Jamie Jo can trick me. So big plus, loved it. Loved the mystery elements, and I also really loved the setting. I felt like I was in this small town with the circus, with all of these crises happening around the characters. I felt like the elephant timeline, there is a baby elephant who is born, and Pippa from the earlier timeline is the only one who can help the elephant survive. And there's no one can bond with her. It's real struggle. And so Pippa is the only one who potentially can save this elephant. And so seeing her grow and grow in her confidence, and that whole timeline with Lily the elephant was just so wonderful and so emotional. And I just felt like I was there, which is such a great feeling. So all of this is 5 stars. Pick it up. It comes out in September. I think everyone should read this book. If you are into suspenseful Christian romance books. This isn't really a romance. Like, there are romantic elements and romantic plot lines, but it is more like mystery, suspense, And there is definitely a Christian theme through it, which I just adore how it was woven in. And also, I just love how there's rep in there. Like, it's so great. Like, I haven't experienced any of these myself, so I could not speak to the quality of these. But like I said, with Chandler's Lyme's disease, Jamie Jo herself has Lyme's disease. And then one of the characters is in a wheelchair. And it's not a big part of her, aside from the fact that this is a connecting point between two friends over what people perceive them of, what people perceive of them. And so I just love that. And then there is a character who is a dwarf, or I don't know what the politically correct term is now, but he is a dwarf in the 1928, and it's just like, it's wow. I gotta love it. I love how these people are people, even if they have other things going on. So, yeah. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, but Pippa has a leg that doesn't really work right. She has a limp, and it's a bad leg, they refer to it as. And so she's a cripple is how they call her. So I also love that rep. Such a good book, I feel like, for that. These people were people, and I felt like I could have met any of them. So, yeah, really, really loved it. 5 stars. That is my prompt for the word "the" in the first being the first word of the title. Next book I'm going to try continue in is the Jane Austen Society, but like I said, I don't really like Jack. I am feeling inspired to read. It's weird when I finish a book, I feel inspired to read. So I think I might just go pick up the Pharaoh's Daughter and see if that one grips me. We are doing a pool party for my sister-in-law today. And so just family there, but it will be a good time just to get together. And I'm hoping that I can listen to A Study in Scarlet on our drive out, since I don't feel like leaving the house, to be honest. And then once we do that, I will have caught up on my buddy read for the day, and hopefully I will be able to finish The Pharaoh's Daughter today. It'd be nice if I could read by the pool even. So, yep, all that to say is it's been a good morning so far, reading-wise, and I hope that the day continues. So I just got home from a fun day at the pool and hanging out with family, the sliding. So I am kind of happy just to get home and relax. I did manage to read, I think, 50 more pages of the Jane Austen Society, and now I start to care about the characters. And I'm also not 100% sure about the plot, if I'm gonna love it. I like the idea of it, but I'm really struggling with that. So I'm gonna do that. I also read my 2 chapters of A Study in Scarlet when we were driving. I was not driving. And then I also am hoping to finish War and Peace this weekend, as I realized I have 2 hours left of the audiobook, so it's entirely possible. So that will be it for this little segment. I will let you know if I've read anything else by the end of the day, and I will do a final check-in. So I think I'm going to end the vlog now, at least for today. I don't know, I'm feeling tired, and I don't want to push it since I had a good reading day. Hang nails. Anyways, so reading progress. I am up to page 140, 130 in here. It's good, but honestly, Jack is slimy, and I don't like him, and I don't think I'm connecting well. So we'll see how this goes. I'm feeling a little disconnected from all the characters, except for, what's her name? Adeline and Dr. Gray. So aside from that, I could really care less about the characters, which makes me a little sad. I have the audio, though, and the ebook, so I'm going to keep going with that. The next book is I started The Pharaoh's Daughter. I literally finished the first, the prologue. That's it. Not very far in, but I really liked this so far. I'm hoping the names don't trip me up. That's something I've discovered about reading books set in Egypt. Egyptian names are not easy for me to read, so hopefully the names don't trip me up too much. But I loved the first section I read of this, the prologue, and I can't wait to read more. Next, I did mention I read my section of Study in Scarlet, the Sherlock Holmes book 1. It was okay. It was good. I'm not loving Sherlock Holmes as much as I remembered. It's a good mystery, but it just feels very disconnected. You know, if you read it, there's a disconnect at a certain point, and it just feels weird. Then the last thing I have read today was War and Peace. I read, I think, about 50 pages of that, and I hope to finish it tomorrow, even though it's, like I said in my previous vlog, not a reading rush book, but I had 300 pages left when the reading rush started, so I'm going to kind of count it as 300 pages of War and Peace. So I'm hoping to finish that tomorrow as well. So I have these 2 books. We'll see how far I get tonight, but I'm not going to go anymore. And A Study in Scarlet and War and Peace. Do you think I can do it? I'm hoping I can. And then I would have finished 7 books in 7 days, which would be amazing. I'm not holding myself to that standard, but it'd be amazing. So, yeah. I will see you all tomorrow with my final day of the reading rush and what I finish then. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. It's now like 1 o'clock on Sunday. We did church this morning online, and then I went back to bed. I just did not sleep well, did not feel rested, and then I had a really bad headache. I have since just washed my hair, hoping that will help with my headache. But I did finish 2 books this morning. While I was lying down, I listened to the remainder of my audiobook for A Study in Scarlet, which I listened to by my window because I just didn't want to leave my bed. This one was good. I'm giving it like a high 3. Honestly, I never do that, so I'm rounding it up to a 4. I just don't like how disjointed the second half is, because it shows the mystery for the first half, and then the second half is a flash, or the motive behind the mystery, the history of it, and how it came to be. And it's just so sudden, and it changes, and it's just there. You don't see any more of Sherlock until the end of that half. So it's a short book, but I just don't like that it's just so disconnected. So that's why it's not quite a 5. Then I also finished War and Peace, not this edition. I listened to it, obviously, and I read the ebook as well, but I'm not gonna make this War and Peace vlog. I will say I'm giving this like 4 stars. It was very good, not perfect for me, but very good. But there are 2 epilogues in this book, and the last epilogue, I was just like, can this be over with? It's just all philosophy. So I finished it though, huge accomplishment in my world. The next 2 things that I need to read today, and I honestly am like, it's possible. I did listen to some more of the Jane Austen Society, which I think is literally the only way I'm gonna finish this book, because I just don't care about this book. I don't care about anyone in it. I don't care about the plot. I don't care about where it's going. I don't care, which is really sad because I thought I would love this book. So yeah. So I'm hoping I can finish the audiobook of this. I have just under half, if you can see, just under half to go, and then I will be done. I don't know if I'm gonna finish that in time for the readathon to be over, but we're gonna do our best. And then I had just started last night The Pharaoh's Daughter. I think I mentioned that last night. And I read the prologue, and I'm excited to read the rest of it. So my plans for the day. If my head cooperates, which is a big if, I will read The Pharaoh's Daughter. This is literally the only copy I have of this. I don't have an ebook. I don't have an audiobook. So I can't read it if my head is not agreeing unless I buy the audiobook. So I might do that if I need to, but I also don't think I have time to listen to it all. So I'm gonna do my best to read with my eyes. The next thing that I wanna do is obviously finish the Jane Austen Society, if I have time. I have, I think, 4 hours and 4.5 hours left of the audiobook, not sped up, and I speed up my audiobooks between 1.5 to like 2. So I should be done that, I hope. And then the last thing that last couple things I need to do. I would like to watch A Study in Pink, which is the first Sherlock episode, and that is based on A Study in Scarlet, I believe. So I would like to watch that and compare. And I also would like to get started on editing the last couple days of this vlog, so I can be ahead of the game. That would be quite nice. So general plans for the day, it is 1 o'clock. I don't have that much time left in the day, but I'm hoping it will be a success. It's been a slow start, but I'm hoping I can make some progress, maybe film a video or two if I'm feeling up to it and if I have time. Mostly that would be a video based on War and Peace, I'm assuming. But yeah, so like I said, no crazy plans, but we'll see how it goes. So I guess I'll talk to you later. So I am going to go and get some fuel for my head. I have read 50 pages of The Pharaoh's Daughter, and I'm really loving it. So that makes me actually kind of even more disappointed in the Jane Austen Society, since I'm able to connect to The Pharaoh's Daughter, but not Jane Austen Society. It's clearly not a Naomi thing, it's a book thing, at least for me. So that will be disappointing to get through later, but I'm gonna go quickly grab some food, and then I will hopefully be able to finish off my reading for the day.
Okay, you've got questions. Yeah.
Hello. It is 11:45 on Sunday night. I am officially done reading for the night. I just can't wait to go curl up and watch some British game shows, honestly, or trivia shows. But I finished 7 books this week. And you might be thinking, I had finished nothing really. Today was kind of a cram day. This is funny for me because I always like cram read books when I have an agenda or a deadline. So it's very funny for me how that always just like readathons help me finish books because I feel pressured. So before we go into too much, I'm just gonna do a quick recap of what I have read and talk about the other things that I finished. So I'm gonna first of all talk about The Trial of Levi Weeks. I talked about this in my other vlog. This one follows the turn of the century in 1800 when a man named Levi Weeks went on trial for killing his girlfriend, fiance, kind of confusing. This is just told in court trial transcripts, witness statements with a few paragraphs. It was interesting, the history aspect, but I didn't feel like the author added anything to my experience, and it was really hard to hold focus in. So I'm giving it 3 stars for the history aspect, but not for the author compiling history aspect. The other thing that I finished in my previous vlog was Death by Shakespeare by Katherine Harkup. This one was lots of fun, kind of gory. It is a true crime and analyzing of Shakespeare killing characters, how things would have worked, and if it was realistic. I found it really good, and I definitely enjoyed learning the history. It also covered things like the plague at that time, what William Shakespeare would have lived through, the playwrights around him, and expectations and how theater would have worked. Like a fun fact is a play that you read, say you read Hamlet, that play would have been written and then adapted for each stage that they went on. So scenes would have been cut from it based on what they had available to them. So there were a lot of adapted scenes or plays going around that we didn't know about. So that was really interesting. I recommend picking it up. It came out, I don't remember when, I'll put the date here. I did get it as an ARC, so I was happy to get through it, and I really enjoyed it. Something else that I am not going to really talk about, but I finished this week. I read 300 pages of War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy for a book club that I'm a part of, and it's good. I'm giving it 4 stars. I will talk about it in a dedicated review if you'd like to go check that out. I will put it out in August sometime. But yeah, this one is very complicated and Russian classic about the Napoleonic War. Can't go into much more detail without being too complicated. Then the next book that I read was The Haunting at the Bonaventure Circus by Jamie Jo Wright. This was also an ARC. It comes out in September, and I loved this book. It was perfect. I've already ranted about it in this video. I don't need to say any more. Check it out. I think it comes out September 1st. Another ARC that I got to was The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner. Now this was a disappointment. I wanted so much more. I just didn't connect with any of the characters really, and like I remember page 200 or like page 196, I was like, ooh, I start to care now about these characters. And then this plot just went weird ways, and I just never spent enough time with any of the characters to truly get connected. I'm unsettled on my rating. I will figure it out before my end of the month wrap up, but I mean, right now I'm kind of leaning towards a 2, which is really sad. But it was easy to read. It was very fast once I was able to sit down and be like, I gotta get this done because it's Sunday. But that was a little disappointing because I don't care still. So I don't really know. The next book that I want to talk about is one that I have talked about a lot this week. That's A Study in Scarlet. So this is a bind up. I read A Study in Scarlet with Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. We read 2 chapters a day. It was good mystery, but a little disconnected for me. So I'm giving it a 4, which is rounded up from like a high 3, even though I don't give half stars. The last book that I read was The Pharaoh's Daughter by Misu Andrews, and I really enjoyed this one. I loved how this one, I was able to read it really fast and it held my interest, but I didn't lose any details. I feel like this was such a good story about Egypt. I love Egypt. I've always been an Egypt fan. But this also was really good about the biblical aspect, because this is a retelling of Moses. I appreciated how Moses was there, but he's not the main character, which is interesting because you're normally the main character is the Bible character in biblical fiction. But I did really appreciate how it's called The Pharaoh's Daughter, and it's about the Pharaoh's daughter. It's not about her love life. It's not about her parenting. It's not about how good she is with business. It's like just her being the Pharaoh's daughter and how that has impacted her whole life. So I really appreciated that, and I didn't like the romances. I did like them. I always like it when a book doesn't end with happily ever after, but that's kind of where it starts or continues. So you get to see them after the fact, after they get married. And so this one I really appreciated. I also really felt like the time jumps were appropriate in this. They would have like 3 years later. And I feel like that was appropriate because it's about her, so I didn't need to see the buildup of each character development, but I was able to see her development over the years. So I really appreciated that. I think this is part of a series, and if it is, I want to pick up more from this series because I really did enjoy this one. I think I might be giving it a 5-star. Yeah, it was pretty great. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I finally got to it. This is for the Biblical Fiction Book Club Biblical Fiction Buffs Book Club. And I'm not sure when Jenna Van Mierk is doing the live show on Instagram for it, but I will be excited to discuss it with everyone then because it is such a great book, and I'm really glad I finally picked it up. So those were the 7 books that I read this week. I should do a page total, but I don't have it in my head, so I'll put it here, how much I read this week, and I am not including all 1,800 pages of War and Peace. I'm just including the 300, because that would just be cheating. I did complete all of the challenges, so let's go over them quick. The first one was Birthstone Cover, which I ended up actually doing 2 books for this because I could. So I have the Pharaoh's Daughter, because she has a white dress for Pearl, and then Jane Austen Society has pink flowers and a white shirt. So that was my birthstone. The next one was The being the first word in the title, which I am choosing to do The Haunting at Bonaventure Circus. A booked screen in reverse prompt and read outside was A Study in Scarlet. A genre I want to read more of was Death by Shakespeare. I don't read too much analytical nonfiction. And then Different Continent. I think I was going to do War and Peace on that because it's Russia, but I think I'll just go back with this one. So that will be my Different Continent for Jane Austen Society set in England. Then the last one was the first book that you've touched, and I touched The Trial of Levi Weeks in a pile in my TBR. So those were the prompts. I will show you my bullet journal quick. I did a lot of reading today. This isn't even complete. I just don't have enough spots to fill it in. And yeah, I didn't mention before, but I got this idea from Books and Lala when she was doing bullet journal videos, and I loved how she tracked her book reading. So I've done it ever since. And I hope with the last 5 days of the month, I can get 4 days of the month, I can get some crazy finishing off of my TBR done, because there's still, I think, 4 or 5 books on my July TBR that I wanted to get to and haven't had a chance. So I'm hoping I can continue this trend. I do know that there's the Grinch-a-thon going on right now, and it's Christmas in July or whatever. I'm not really sure. I've just seen the prompts, and it goes from the 25th, which is like yesterday, to the 1st, and so maybe that'll be a good push to finish off the rest of my TBR books if I can squeeze them into those prompts. So basically, I had a good week. I had a great reading week with page count. I had a decent, pretty good week with genres and star ratings. It's a heavy page count. This is like 70 pages of this book. But I do have 2 ebooks as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. I hope it wasn't too much of a downer at the beginning, but I just felt like being real with my headache situation and how things go sometimes. So I will see you again. Please leave a comment down below if you'd like me to do more vlogs. I actually really enjoyed it. But here's something I learned about it. There's a few things. I want to kind of go through pros and cons. First pro, it got me out of bed in the morning. It made me actually get up. I am not a morning person. It made me get up and like get ready for the day so I could vlog. Con, it made me get up in the morning. It's so annoying, but it's true. Then another pro is I really challenged myself with reading. I felt accountable. And then a con, I was forcing myself to read 2 books that I really just wasn't enjoying. So that's a little eh. And then another pro is I really pushed myself with editing and filming and feeling comfortable in front of the camera on an informal situation. But then the con is also the editing and how difficult it was. So I might do it again. Let me know if you'd like to see another vlog from me or if it was just like a readathon thing. I don't know if I'll do it on a regular basis, but hey, I'd love to hear from you down below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you sometime soon with a new video. Bye for now.